Congressman, good to see you. Thanks for being here. How long is this going to go on?
As long as it takes. We are here for the long haul. Look, you've got 201 Republican lawmakers that want Kevin McCarthy to be the Speaker of the House. You have 20 or so that are opposed to that, that process and that nomination. And so, we're going to be here for the long haul. The 200, I don't believe the 200 are going to go anywhere. So we need to get to a rapid conclusion as fast as we can and start working on the business of America. Right now, the business of America is at a standstill. Things that we want to do, things that even the 20 that are holding out want to do.
Yes.
We want to stop out of control spending. We want to control the southern border. We want to restore American energy independence. We want to give parents, rights on their kids' education. We need to have the investigations on what's happening with the Biden administration, what's happening with the Biden family, all kinds of stuff that we need to do. None of it can start until we get a speaker. We need to move on with the business of America.
Well, there are some people who are now a little worried about what the people in favor of McCarthy, who want to get this over with, might be willing to give away in order to get a deal. And that might include some negotiations with Democrats. We had Congressman Bacon on Fox News earlier. I just want to play a soundbite of what he said about the possible negotiations with Democrats and get your reaction. Roll tape.
If these 20 refuse to be part of the team and don't come on board, we have no other choice but to go across the aisle and start negotiating. And there's a lot of things you can negotiate. Committee ratios is a big one, because ordinarily you get a 4-seat majority in a tight House like this. Maybe we get it to a 2-seat majority instead of 4 in all these committees. There may be things we can negotiate on subpoenas. In the end, to get things done, you're going to have Democrats on board anyway, and maybe we could build a structure that reflects that from the beginning.
Congressman, a deal on subpoena power with all the subpoenas that need to be given for these investigations. Are you okay with that?
No, I'm not. I don't think we deal with the Democrats. We got the majority. The American people gave us a 4 million vote, superiority to the Democrats in the last election. They want the Republicans to be in charge here. We need to get our House in order. We need to bring those 20 folks back into the fold. Let's move on. Let's elect Kevin McCarthy as the Speaker of the House. We don't have to deal with the Democrats. They certainly didn't deal with us for the last 4 years. I don't think we need to deal with them. So while I value my colleague, Representative Bacon, I do not agree with him that we need to start talking to Democrats.
Some of the animosity has been pretty tough, and you wonder whether, even if you do get a vote together, how together you folks will be over the next 2 years. I mean, you had members of Congress calling other members terrorists. Stuff like that. How do you get over that?
Well, you get over it by getting back to the commitment to America. On that, we agree on. We agree with my colleagues I agree with my colleagues from the Freedom Caucus probably 95% of the time. Somehow we are focused on that 5% that we don't agree on. We need to start focusing on the 95% that we do agree on, because the 95% that we do agree on is good for America. And America wants us to make that happen. And so that's what we need to start focusing in on. I want, hey, they've had their say. I understand their position. They may not like Kevin McCarthy, et cetera. But you know what? Give them a chance. You're probably going to get a way to vacate the chair that's pretty easy. So if he's not doing what he said he was going to do, especially the commitment to America, heck, I'd be the first one to remove him myself. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think Kevin is a man of his word. He's a great leader. He's going to be a great speaker. We will follow through with our commitment to America and make America, better again, and bring America back. That's what we need to do. That's what we need to work on. And unfortunately, this sidebar, or this distraction, is stopping us from getting the work of America done.
Well, and that vacuum that exists now in the House of Congress, the Democrats are using that. You saw that the president made his speech on immigration, making certain claims that we talked about earlier in this show, with a border agent who said a lot of those claims just were not true. Also, right, with a supervisor from Yuma border in Arizona who was very worried about this photo op on Sunday. So there's all this stuff going on. But Newt Gingrich, who kind of changed his tone a little bit, he called these the rebels deranged disruptors earlier. But then he came out with a much more conciliatory tweet. He said, "I prefer the clumsy, frustrating, open process in the U.S. House to the way Putin or Xi Jinping or the Iranian Ayatollah would handle it. Yes, freedom can be frustrating, he said, sloppy, slightly uncontrollable, but amazingly creative. This is the joy of being an American. What do you say to Newt?
I think he's absolutely right. And look, my colleagues that are right now hindering our ability to elect Kevin as the Speaker of the House, they need to understand that, hey, I understand what you're doing. It is certainly your right. You have the right to do what you're doing, but it doesn't make it right. You're supposed to be part of a team. The team has chosen overwhelmingly that Kevin McCarthy is our nominee to be Speaker of the House. You need to come along, and then you know what? If he proves us wrong that he's not the leader, then we have the mechanism to remove him. I don't believe that's ever going to happen, but you got to give him a chance, and we're not doing that right now. So come on back and be part of the team, and everything will be forgiven, and we can move on.
Well, you've got the right attitude, I think. By the way, didn't you used to be a Democrat?
No, heck no.
Oh,
I've never been a Democrat.
I'm sorry.
No, don't insult me like that. I've always been a Republican.
Why is it though,
yeah.
Congressman, that Democrats seem to get along much easier in groups than Republicans do?
No, Democrats, what I say, that Democrats are they don't get along behind closed doors, okay? Unfortunately, we don't get along sometimes out in the open, and that's the difference. They have just as many squabbles as we do. They've done, you got to take your hat off to Nancy Pelosi. She was able to put them in line. We need to learn that lesson. I always say that Democrats are like dogs. When you say sit, they sit. At least the members of Congress. We're like cats. Hey, come over here. Well, maybe yes, maybe not. Maybe you rub my belly, I'll come over there. But right now, I don't feel like it. So I'd rather be a Republican than a Democrat. We have independent minds, but there comes a time to come together. There comes a time to be a team. This is the time to come together.
Yeah.
This is the time to be a team. Let's move forward and do the business of America.
Well, particularly when the economy is moving backwards and when the situation at the border is moving back, we have to move forward, and you guys got to get together to do that. So we wish you luck. Congressman, thank you very much for being here. Appreciate it. Sorry for the insult.
My pleasure.
We are now giving